नहमदुहु व नसल्ली अला रसूलिहिल करीम अम्मा बाद फ़अऊज़ु बिल्लाहि मिनश शैतानिर रजीम बिस्मिल्लाहिर रहमानिर रहीम रब्बि इश्रह ली सदरी व यस्सिर ली अमरी वाहलुल उक़दतम मिन लिसानी यफ़क़हू क़ौली रब्बी ज़िदनी इल्मा अल्लाहुम्मा फ़क़िहना फ़िद्दीन अल्लाहुम्मा इन्नी अस्अलुका इल्मन नाफ़िआ व अमलन मुतक़ब्बला व रिज़्क़न तय्यबा Allahumma anfa'na bima 'allamtana wa 'allimna ma yanfa'una wa zidna ilma. Inshallah, we will be studying ayat number 256 onwards, Surah Al-Baqarah. La, not, ikraha, kaf, raha is the root. Karaha means compulsion or dislike. So, depending on the context, over here it means compulsion. Fi in a deen in the religion. So there is no compulsion in the deen. Now this part of the ayat is sometimes taken out of context in many different ways. According to the Mufassirin, the tafsir, the explanation of this ayat is that this is for people entering Islam. Of course, we are supposed to still spread Islam. It does not mean that we should just let people live whatever way of life that they are living. A deen over here means the religion Islam. Deen is the way of life, and Islam is not just a religion where you have to do a certain rituals and the rest of the life is supposed to be spent however way you want. So deen means the way of life, and Islam is the way of life for everyone, all the human beings. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent from Adam alayhi salam to Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam many prophets to remind people of this. And now we are told in Quran that there is no compulsion in deen. Many people take it to mean that, okay, we are Muslims, there is no compulsion, whatever we want to follow, we will follow. That is not correct. We cannot say that, okay, I can be a Muslim, but I will pray as many times I want, and I am fine as long as I am good to people, as long as I am nice to my parents. I don't have to cover myself, or I don't have to do this, or I don't have to do that. Okay, I will give you an example again of entering into a school which is very prestigious. You feel very lucky that your child got into this school, and now are you going to follow the rules of that school or not? Are you going to follow the uniform your child has to wear over there or not? Are you going to follow the timings, the start time, when the child has to reach the school? Does the child have to work with the school staff? Of course, if there is a special need, then there are exceptions made as well. In the same way, in Islam also, if there is a person who needs to sit down and pray, who needs to lie down and pray salah, or for whatever reason there is a need to do certain things in a different way, that is allowed. But mainly, whatever the rules are, whatever the Sharia of Islam is, once you enter Islam, you cannot say that I will do things my own way. When we say La ilaha illallah, we mean that Allah, there is no God to worship except Allah. And when we say that, we are worshipping Allah, we are accepting Allah as our Rabb. When we are accepting Allah as our creator, as our sustainer, we are accepting that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave us certain rules, certain laws to follow, and we have to abide by them. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions over here, La ikraha fiddin. There is no compulsion in the religion. Again, that does not mean that a person can live the way they want to live. Even if they are Muslims, they can have their own way. And B, it also doesn't mean that we should not even try to spread the message of Islam, that thinking that Allah said there is no compulsion, people can live the way they want to live, people can follow the religion they want to follow. No, the religion for everyone on this earth is Islam, and that is what our duty is, to let people know. After that, we should respect their whatever they want to do. Okay, so this is the first phrase of this ayat, La ikraha fid deen. The second part of this ayat is qad, surely, tabayyana, bayanun, which means it is made clear, ar-rushdu, ra sheen dal, which means the right path, the right direction, min al-ghayyi, ghain ya, from the wrong, from the distraction. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, after telling us that there is no compulsion in religion, He's telling us that the right and the wrong are very distinctly made clear. There is no confusion. Once you introduce people, once it is told to people that this is the right way, and those who are searching for it, those who are open to the idea, they can easily tell there is no confusion. It is not a vague route. Faman, then whoever, yakfur, kafara, those who disbelieve, bit taghuti, the taghut. What is taghut? Anything other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, anything that takes you from the right direction. Even if you are a Muslim, you could be worshipping taghut. Taghut is the pull of the worldly desires as well, the pull towards things that are anything but the right path. Okay, so faman yakfur, whoever does the kufr of the taghut, wa and yu'min, and then he does iman, he has belief billahi, in Allah. So those people who disbelieve in taghut, they deny everything other than Allah and they believe in Allah, then what do? Faqad. So surely istamsaka, mim sin kaf, means to hold something that is already, that is yours. Hold tightly, not letting it go. So he has grasped bil urwati ain rawa. Urwa is a kind of a handle or to clutch to something. Al wuska. Wuska is something that is really strong. A handle that is wuska, meaning a handle that you can rely on. So now the whole sentence put together means that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying those who deny every taghut, every pull towards the shaitan, and they believe in Allah, then actually they have held on to a very strong handhold. It is very reliable. It will not let them go. It will not leave them alone. It will support them. They can rely on it. La, not anfisama laha. Fa swad mim. Fasam means to crack. Okay, so after saying the word wuska, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is emphasizing by saying that it is not going to break for him. So the people who follow the right path, and they in the right path is very clear. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying that there is no compulsion. Once they come to the right path, they can see for themselves that it is distinct, it is very clear, that the wrong and the right are very clear. And once they do hold on to the right path, it is like holding on to a handle that is very reliable. It is not going to break. That is not something that is temporary, it is permanent. It is going to help them, it is going to give them sukoon. Wallahu, and Allah, sami'un, he is all hearing, alim, he is all knowing. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows who are those people who hold on to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now we will do 257. Allahu, Allah, waliyu, he is the wali, meaning the guardian, the supervisor, the protector, the friend. Allah is the friend, al-lazina, of those who amanu, who believe, who have iman. Yukhrijuhum, and what does Allah do when people have iman in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? And how does Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala help? First of all, Allah has already declared that He is a friend of people who believe in Him, who believe, who stick to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's deen. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala helps them by yukhrijuhum kharajim, by bringing them out, by exiting them from minaz zulumati, from the zulumat, from the darkness, from the bad things, from the wrong habits, from any wrong decision. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala takes them out from all the darkness, ila, towards an-nur, towards the light. So those who have made the intention and who are struggling to stay on the right path, no matter what happens, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that you're not going to be alone. Allah is your wali, and He is going to make sure that you always can tell the difference between the darkness and the light. You are able to make the right decision. I will guide you. I will support you. I will help you in telling you the difference in everything in our life. Even the smallest decision to the biggest decision. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will help us in understanding what is the right thing to do at this point. What is the right thing to do in this situation? So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala promises that Allah is the wali of those people who have iman, and He will take them out from the darkness towards the light. وَالَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا, on the other hand, those people who disbelieve, what happens to them? Awliya'uhum. So for Allah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala used the word wali because Allah is one. But for those who disbelieve, Allah mentions awliya'uhum. It's a plural of wali. Their guardians, their friends, at-taghut, are the evil ones. They are the taghut. So they are basically choosing to become friends of taghut. In the first part of this ayat, Allah mentions that Allah will extend His friendship with the people who have iman. On the other hand, those people who don't have iman, they are extending their friendship to Taghut. So basically it shows that it is in our decision which direction we take. And on the other hand, those who are doing kufr, their friends are going to be taghut, and what will they do? Yukhrijunahum, they will bring them out, minan nuri ila zulumati, from the light towards the darkness. Every decision that they will take, they will start following the taghut. They will start following what is in today, what is in fashion, what are the people doing, what will look good, what are the people going to like. So they become the ghulam, the slaves of this world. They become the slaves of Taghut. All right. Ulaika, those are the ashabu, they are the companions of the nar, of the fire. Hum fiha khalidun, they will live there forever. Khalidun means khalad, it comes from the root khalad, which means forever. In the next three ayat, we will be studying the three examples where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala proves how Allah will give life again to people on the day of resurrection, on the day of judgment. And these three examples are also connected to what we've studied already, how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the helper of the people who try to understand deen better. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala understands the intentions of a person and accordingly helps them, guides them. So in the first example, we see that the king Namrud is arguing with Ibrahim alayhi salam about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala because he claimed that he was the God. And when Ibrahim alayhi salam mentions that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives life and death, he asked to bring two of the prisoners and he ordered one to be killed and one to be freed. And he said, see, I can give life and I can give death. And then Ibrahim alayhi salam tells him that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, my Rabb, brings sun from the east. Can you bring it out from the west? So he didn't know what to answer. So basically it is shown that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guides the person, the people who are on his side, who are following deen, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala becomes their wali. In the second example, we see that it is about Uzair alayhi salam when he was passing by a township and he looked at it and he asked Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, how are you going to give life to them? And then he was put to sleep for 100 years and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala showed it from his food and from the donkey that he was traveling with. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala showed it to him that this is how Allah will give life again on the day of resurrection. So there is nothing wrong with asking questions as long as the intention is okay. And in this case, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala again is the helper, is the guide. Allah Ta'ala helps his pious people when they have some questions. In the third example is a similar one where Ibrahim alayhi salam asked Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that I do believe in you, but how will you give life? I want to see it. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told him to bring 4 birds, and so we'll study when we study this ayat, inshallah. I just wanted you to be able to relate how these 3 are the examples given by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, how he helps people when they have questions, if they have the right intention, if they are trying to be on the right path, and then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala helps them stay away from the darkness and stay in the light, inshallah. So let's study ayat number 258. Alam, did you not, tara, you see, ila, towards, allazi, those who haja, ha jim jim means hujjat means argument. The one who argued Ibrahim fi rabbihi about his Rabb, about his Lord. And that atahu gave him Allahul mulka, because Allah had given him the kingdom. Allah had made him the king. So this is King Nimrud, who was the king, and he thought that he can claim to be the God. Is qala, when said Ibrahim, and Ibrahim alayhi salam said, Rabbi, my Lord, allazi, is the one who yuhyi wa yumeet, he gives life and he causes death. Qala, he said, Ana uhyi wa umeet, I give life and I give death. And this is where I told you that he ordered to get two prisoners, and he ordered one to be killed and one was freed. Qala Ibrahim alayhi salam said, فَإِنَّ اللَّهَ, indeed Allah, ya'ti bishamsi, he brings the sun, minal mashriqi, from the mashriq, from the east. Fa'ti biha, so you bring minal maghribi, from the maghrib, from the west. Then what happened? Fabuhit bahata, he became dumbfounded. Allazi, who, the one who kafara, the one who disbelieved. Wallahu la yahdi, Allah does not guide, la does not yahdi guide, al qawm az-zalimin, the one who is zalim. So the one who has questions for a negative reason, for a reason to argue, to prove Allah wrong. If somebody has a wrong intention, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not guide them. Allah is not with them. Now 259, or kallazi, the one who, marra mim rara, he was passing by, ala qaryatin, a town, wahiya, and it khawiya, meaning it was completely ruined. Khawiya is of calamity, has caused something for a complete upside down, basically. So it does not literally have to be upside down, but it is like in so much ruins, everything is broken or complete devastation. So there was a town that it was an entire town, ala urushiha. So this is also for more emphasis about its devastation, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions khawiyatun ala urushiha, it was overturned on its roofs. Basically everything was broken upside down, like emptied and scattered. Qala, so he said, Anni, how, yuhyi, hayaya, will you bring life to, hazihi, this town, Allah, Allah, bada, after mautiha, after its mouth, after its death. So he saw that it was death on a very big scale. Everything was scattered, mixed up. And he asked Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, how will you give life to these people, this town? Like so many people are dead, and they're even like they're just maybe bones or even just ruins left here. So what did Allah do? Amatahu, he was given death. Mim wauta, Allahu, by Allah, mi'ata, 100 amin, years. For 100 years he was given death. So he was not put to sleep. It was like a sleep, but he was made to die, because when you're even sleeping, you're alive enough that you will be growing, right? Your hair, your nails, everything will be growing. But it was the death. So his process of growth stopped over there. Thumma, then, ba'athahu, then he was raised. Qala, he said, Kam labista, how long have you remained? So he was basically asked, how long do you think you stayed here? Qala, he said, labistu yawman, I remained for a day, or ba'da yawmin, or part of the day, because he could see that like it did not feel like it was very long time. He didn't see any signs of any difference in that, because the day looked the same. Maybe his body felt the same to him, so it felt to him like just part of the day. Qala, he said, bal, ne, labista, you have remained mi'ata amin, 100 years. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will tell him to, in the nazar, the word noon zuara will be used thrice. Allah will tell him to look at different things to show him how this happened. Fanzur, then look, nazara, look, ila, at ta'amika, ta'am, ta'ain mim, your food, wa sharabika, and your sharab, and your drink. Lam, they did not, yatasannahu, see nunha, which means something that changes with time, meaning even if it does not completely rot, it becomes stale, with time. When you have milk, even in the fridge, but it has expired, over time it will smell different, it will smell bad. Okay, so yatasannahu, lam yatasannahu, meaning it did not change with time. Look at the food. And now wanzur, and look, ila himarika, towards your himar, your donkey, wa, and linaj'alaka, and we will make you ayatan, a sign, linnasi, for the people. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told him to look at his donkey. He was just bones. After 100 years, he had completely decomposed. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala showed him the sign that, see, that living thing, if Allah wants, Allah can completely decompose him and then give him life, which was done in front of his eyes. And if Allah wants, Allah does not decompose even the food. It is just right there as it is. Wa, and linaj'alaka, and then we will make you ayatan, a sign, linnas, for the people. Now wanzur again, and look, ilal izami, at the bones, kaifa, how, nunshizuha, we nushiz is to raise. Okay, so we raise them, thumma, then naksuha. Naksu comes from kaf sin waw, which means kaswa, cloth as well, right? So we will clothe them lahman, with laham, meat, with flesh. So he's shown that look at these bones, and we will put in front of you, we will raise them, we'll put the skeleton together, we'll cover it with the flesh. Falamma, then when, tabayyana, bayanun, meaning then it became clear, lahu, to him, qala, he said, a'lamu anna allaha ala kulli shay'in qadir. A'lamu, I know, anna allaha, indeed Allah, ala kulli shay'in qadir, over everything, he is completely powerful. Allah has power to do anything. So you can see that asking a question is not wrong as long as your intention is nice. If your intention is to learn, if your intention is to understand Islam better, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guides and helps them in different ways. In the next ayat, we will see the example of Ibrahim alayhi salam. What is, and when, qala, said, Ibrahim alayhi salam, what did he say? Rabbi arini, Rabbi, oh my Rabb, arini, ra hamzaya, meaning show me, kaifa, how tuhyil mauta, how you give life to the dead. Tuhyi and mauta. Qala, Allah said, awalam, do you not tu'min, do you not believe? Tu'min comes from aman, hamza, mim, nun. Qala, so Ibrahim alayhi salam said, bala, yes, walakin, but, liyatma'inna, twa, mim, nun, it is the root, which means to have satisfaction, to have some comfort. So he said, walakin, but, liyatma'inna, I want to be satisfied, qalbi, in my heart. Ibrahim alayhi salam had the ilm, had the knowledge, and he had the yaqeen. He was convinced that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can do that. He just wanted a higher level, which was ainul yaqeen, which means to see something, to be able to get a better conviction. Qala, he said, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, fakhuz, so akhaz, take, arba'atan, 4, min at-tayri, from the tayr, from the birds. So take 4 birds, and then step 1, take 4 birds. Step 2, what do? Fasurhunna. So fasurhunna means to tame, to train them. Swad wa ra, it means to incline. Ilaika, meaning towards you, train them towards you, and this is the second step. Then what do? Summa aj'al, and then put, ala, on, kulli, each, jabalin, hill. So the third step, which is between these lines, is that you slaughter them and put their pieces. So third step was slaughter them. Fourth step is mentioned here. Summa ja'al, then put ala kulli jabalin, them on each hill. So mix their pieces and put them on 4 different hills. Min hunna, of them, juz'an, a portion. They're juz, they're different parts. Summa, now what is the next step? Then ud'uhunna, dal ain waw, meaning to call them. Dua is also from this. So the first step was to get 4 birds. Second step was to train them. Third step was to slaughter them, mix their pieces. And then the fourth one was to put them into 4 different hills, their different pieces. And fifth step is to call them. Ya'tinaka, they will come to you. Hamzata ya sa'yan, they will come to you in haste. Sa'i means to do something quickly. So they will quickly come to you. This Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala adds the word quickly, meaning Allah will give it life, but it does not take Allah so long. As long as it takes a human being to take the birds, to train them, to slaughter them, make their pieces, put them in different places, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it does not need so much even time. A person just has to call them and they will come. In the same way, if people have questions that people are buried in different areas, or those people who died thousands of years ago, hundreds of years ago, and then their bodies have completely decomposed, there are plants growing over there, and where does everything go? So this is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala proves to us, that it does not matter to Allah. It does not even take time for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They will come sa'yan, in haste. Wa'alamu, and know, have the knowledge, annallaha, indeed Allah, azizun hakim, that Allah is aziz, Allah is almighty, and hakim, Allah is all wise. So Allah knows when, who to give what examples. Allah knows how to guide people, and Allah knows that when we have some questions, when is our intention true, and according to that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will help us.